Hey Art Nerds, we are going to be spending today talking about contour line. Now, you should remember previously we've talked about line and how that is a path made by a moving point through space. It is flat, that's why it's one dimensional, and it can vary in width, length, direction. So that means it can be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, thick, thin, light, dark. Okay. And it is flat. So a line is very different from form. Line can create shapes, but line cannot create form. It can create the illusion of it. And that's something that we will be working on throughout this semester. So lines can do three things. Lines can define an edge. Lines can show direction, so make the viewer look at some spot in the artist's work. And it also expresses emotion, so it can bring up feelings of happiness, joy, sorrow, anger when you see certain lines used in artwork. We will be focusing on how line defines an edge, and that edge is what we call a contour line. And these are lines that define that former edge. So think like coloring book, okay, or the outlines. Here are some good visuals that give you an idea of what we're talking about, okay, using just regular contours, blind contours, cross contours. We'll talk about those more specific types of contours in a minute. But this is the visual I want you to connect when you think of contour line, okay? It is the outlines, okay? It has no value, which means there's no shading, there's no color, okay? It's just the outlines of things. Now, here's another visual example for you, okay? We have a shoe, okay, which has form, okay? It has length, width, and height, okay? You can hold it, okay? And then we have contour, okay? So this is a contour line drawing of a shoe, okay? It just has the outside outlines. It is simplified, so it doesn't have every little nitpicky detail. We can get the basics that it is a shoe based on this minimal amount of lines being used, okay? Now, how many of you guys ever had the issue when you are making a drawing that it doesn't turn out quite right, okay? But you're not sure what to do to fix it, or you're somehow incapable of fixing it, and everyone struggles with this, okay? Drawing takes time, and it takes a lot of training for the eye to kind of work with your brain correctly to be able to get whatever you're thinking of and whatever you're seeing onto the paper the way you want it to go. So we are going to be working on exercising our brain and that hand-eye coordination over the next few exercises and lessons. So there's three layers that, in my terminology, artists, okay. In Miss Sauer, in my classroom, there are three levels of an artist, okay? At the bottom, we got no mistakes, meaning that it was like, I think of myself when I was in kindergarten. I would do my drawings. I'd be so proud of them. I'd have my mom hang them on the fridge. I believe they were the best thing in the world, okay? There was no way I could make a mistake in my artwork. It was always perfect, okay? That kind of a mindset. There are no mistakes. This isn't bad, but I'm just showing you that this is a level that people can be at, okay? Second is like you see mistakes in your artwork, but you're not sure what to do to make it better because it's like this is the frustrating stage, okay, where you know that there's something wrong but you're unsure what to do with it, okay. And finally, at the top, we have artists that see mistakes in their work and they know what they need to do to make it better, to fix it. They know exactly why it looks funny, okay. And to be completely honest, going through these stages is like climbing a mountain, okay. I've had students that have been in all three different levels in a semester. I've had some students that really get stuck on level 2 for a really long time. Okay. So it can be really frustrating figuring out how to get that hand eye coordination to the point that you can draw what you want. Okay. And when you can't, you know what to do to fix it. Okay. And that's something they're going to be working on throughout the entire semester. We're going to slowly be climbing this mountain together. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be frustrating, but I am here to help. So here's my first little exercise I want to do with all of you guys, and it deals with these contour line drawings of a cube. Okay, so I have my reference image on the far left. Okay, the nice big cube. And what I want you guys to help me identify is not only which contour line drawing A, B, C, or D matches, but also why. Okay, the why I believe is more important than just getting the right answer. So, we're going to be taking a look at the length of the lines in the drawings, the direction of the lines in our drawings, and also the perspective in which we see these lines in comparison with the original image, as you see here. Okay, so if we take a look at this first one, letter A drawing, how is the line length? The direction, the perspective, okay? Perspective is referring to how we view it, okay? In case you need some clarification there. Now, when you take a look at these two images and compare the original and image A, you might feel that it looks kind of tall, okay? So that means we have an issue with line length. Some lines are longer than they need to be. So I bet if we just shorten those vertical lines that are in the cube for drawing A, our cube would be more accurate as to the original image. Okay, how about this one? What is funky about it? Are the lines a good length? Do they match? Are they going in the correct direction? Is the perspective funny? Okay, you probably noticed that it looks like in my blue drawing that I can see the bottom of the cube rather than the top of the cube, okay? And believe it or not, I've received drawings of objects just like this. And it's really funny because you can't see the bottom of the cube, yet your drawing is practically upside down. So that's one thing to keep in mind whenever you're creating a drawing is that if you can see the top of something or you can see the left of something or the right of something, you need to make sure to include that in your drawing so then they match, okay? Because I'm reckoning whoever drew image B was not paying attention to the cube and just drew it from memory and was just guessing. And that's not our goal for this semester in order to reach the mountaintop as an artist. Then we have letter C here. How is the line length in comparison to the original? Pretty accurate? I would agree. The direction of the lines, are they all matching up? You know, the angles are about the same angle. The lines are vertical where they need to be. Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. And perspective, it looks like I see a bit of the top and then it's pretty close to being balanced, be seeing the left and the right side of the cube. And I would also say that my drawing matches. So this one may be the one that we're looking for. Then we have our final one, image D, okay? We got line length. I think there's some issues with the line length. Direction. We got some lines that are going fairly horizontal. Look at the bottom edge line. Looks like one line versus the two that are supposed to be angled. Looks a little funny. Perspective, I see a lot more of the top than I do in the original image. Okay, so there's a lot of things wrong with this one. My goodness, this drawing's pretty trash. Anyways, so between these four, which one do you think matches the best? Based on what we've talked about with the length of the line, the angles, the perspective, okay, it's really easy to identify C as the one that matches. Okay. And that is easier said than done, I understand. And that's why I'll be working on it. But the first step is being able to recognize that there's something wrong. And then we can continue working on figuring out, okay, what do we need to do to make things better? And if you take a look, it is a perfect match. Oh, what a nice cube drawing that was. So over the next few lessons, we are going to be talking about the different types of contour line drawings, okay? We're going to start with regular contour drawing, okay? Then we're going to move on to drawing continuous contours. And then we're going to be moving on finally to doing blind contour drawings. And these are all exercises that really help us develop that hand-eye coordination and make you a better drawer. So Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned in class for some more lessons on how to exercise that hand-eye coordination using contour line drawings.